Good morning, everyone. My name is Devaki, and with me this morning is Carmenza. Michelle couldn't make it. Dr. Michelle couldn't make it this morning. She just got back from Europe, and she wasn't feeling quite well. So, and good morning to all of you online. Thank you all for being here today. It's wonderful to see everyone here in person. And this morning's reading is from Rays of the One Light. These are weekly commentaries from the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita, written by Swami Kriya-yoga. This morning's victory demands the courage of conviction. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Jesus Christ said in the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 10, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth, that is to say, that clingeth to his life, shall lose it. And he that loseth, in other words, that giveth up his life for my sake, shall find it." God tests the firmness of our faith. The sword described here is a sword of discrimination. The struggle Jesus describes is not a war against unknown enemies, but the struggle with our own attachment to all that is nearest and dear to us, humanly speaking. Ultimately, it is a war against the ego itself, and against anything with which we surround ourselves to bolster the ego's fragile sense of security. When Yogananda, as a boy, fled to the Himalayas to embrace a life of solitary meditation, he was apprehended by his older brother Ananda and brought home again. At a certain point, before he could accept defeat, he whispered to his friend Amar, his companion on the flight, "Let us slip away when opportunity offers. We can go on foot to Rishikesh." But Amar, whose brother had accompanied Ananda, had turned pessimist, disclaiming any intention of continuing their adventure. Yogananda's memorable comment on Amar's refusal was, he was enjoying the familial warmth. The spiritual warrior rejects that familial warmth. Rather, he claims the whole universe as his home. But as the Bhagavad Gita puts it in the 14th chapter, unaffected by outward joys and sorrows or praise and blame, secure in his divine nature, regarding with equal gaze a clod of mud, a stone, and a bar of gold, impartial toward all experiences, whether pleasant or unpleasant, firm-minded, untouched by either praise or blame, treating everyone alike, whether friend or foe, free from the delusion that in anything he does, he is the doer. Such an one has transcended nature's triune qualities, and thus through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om. Well, Rama joined an ashram that was in the jungle, and it was run by a master he was a very great soul, and he had a following, and all of them completed simple tasks through life. And they would wake up in the morning, they were all connected with nature, and they would eat the berries and the fruits and the roots that were there. And they would wake up at the dawn when the sun rose, and they'd go to sleep at night when the sun went down. They had a very simple life, very joyful existence. But Rama, being of a critical nature, having lived with a very sophisticated family, said to his master one day, you know, there's really not much difference in what you're doing and what my family did. He said they were concerned about cleanliness, they were concerned about how to eat. That's exactly what we're doing here. And the master said to him, well, Rama, you've got to be careful of your restless thoughts. And he continually tried to caution him and warn him against this. But Rama said, well, you know, I want to go and be by myself. You know, Rama, you don't really need to do that. This austerity, he said, I'm concerned about your interest in this. He said, I think it's going to take you in the wrong direction. He said, no, I need to go. I want to be by myself. I want to live by myself. And I don't want to be encumbered anymore with any more of these familial or friendly relationships. And so the master said, well, very well. And so that's what he did. He took off. And with him he took 2 rags. And they were to be used as loincloths. And then he took a begging bowl, which he's going to use for water. And he went and he found a place outside of the jungle, just on the edge of the jungle. And it was just on the edge of the town. And it was actually very pleasant for him. He hung up his loincloths on a little rock, and the next morning, that night, he went to bed, and it was a very peaceful sleep. He went to bed being kind of lulled by the sound of tigers and lions that were that were far enough away that he was not of any threat, and the jackals and the coyotes, and he heard them all, and he went to sleep. And the next morning, he woke up, and he noticed that his loincloths had been gnawed at, and a little mouse had gotten in and had put holes in them. And then he also noticed that his begging bowl was gone because a nocturnal monkey came in the middle of the night, and he stole the bowl and he went off. So Rama started lamenting to the Lord, and he said, well, what is this about? You know, here I am, I'm doing this for you. And as he was doing so, a townsperson walked by. And he said, oh, holy man, he said, I heard your cries. He said, it was a mouse that came in and did this damage to your cloth. He said, you know what you need is a cat. And Rama looked at him, he said, that's a good idea. Where would I get a cat? He said, well, I'll give you a cat. I said, that's great. So here